Okay, so once again, we're looking at the note for the reconciliation between net profit before tax and cash generated from operations. So we said we're going to start with the net profit before tax. So let's try and find that. It's right here. We've already used it once. It's 420,000, and we're gonna go ahead and just write that in. And next, we're looking for interest expense. And 1 second, no. Okay, here we are. So interest expense, it's right below that. So here it is, it's 19,500. Remember, when we're doing adjustments, please don't, subtract this amount and this amount. We only look at the year we want to calculate our cash flow statement, which is 2010. We take this amount and we write it straight away in here. There's no need to, calculate anything, do anything weird. Please, please, please don't. Okay. And now we want to look at depreciation. And if I remember correctly, we already calculated both depreciation amounts. We have 56,000, and then we have the vehicle amount, which is this. So in order to calculate the depreciation, we have to add both of those amounts, and then you should get an amount of 124,280. Okay, just another reminder is that you can change this around sometimes, depending on the format you have learned, depending on the format they give you in the answer book. Maybe they only total these two, and then there's a total for those two amounts and they add that to net profit. I don't know, but I don't do that. I do all three together. You can do them separately. It's okay, it's still right. If you add all three amounts, we should get this. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not entirely sure, but I think we get this amount. Okay, and now we need to calculate our net changes in working capital. And first we want to look at inventories. So let's go to our trial balances. Um, Trial balances, because we have 2 years right here. So you know that inventory means trading stock, I hope. So we want to calculate the movement, and I'm quickly going to calculate it. Let me see, 206, 900 minus 126, 700. Okay, perfect. So if we subtract both amounts, and so 2010, which is this figure, 206,900, subtract last year's amount, we know that this was an increase. We can see that this amount is bigger. And we said that whenever we have an increase, it's in brackets. So I'm going to delete this because we're dealing with an increase. And if you were to subtract both amounts, you would realize that the amount you get is 80,200. Okay, next we want to look at debtors, or you can also say trade. I think I like this better. Trade and other receivables. And then let me change this to trade and other payables. Okay, so you need to know what makes up trade and other receivables. In this example, we are only given debtors. And we can see once again that, hey, this year's amount is bigger than last year's. So we're dealing with an increase. And if you subtract both amounts, so this year's amount, subtract last year's amount, you should get, and remember we said we're looking at an increase, so that's going to be in brackets, and that amount should be 23,000. Okay, and then last we're looking at trade and other payables. Now I want to remind you, in this example we have creditors control and accrued expenses, so we need to take both into account. We can see that this was a decrease and this was an increase. Okay, so This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to calculate this one first because it's a decrease. So first we have accrued expenses, and we have 33,600 subtract 25,500. Okay, and then we have creditors control, and creditors control decreased from last year. I'm going to add it. And what was that amount? We have 175, 520, 175, 520. Ooh, this, I have to make this a lot smaller to fit in everything. Okay, I hope you can still see that. Minus 181,060. Okay, and if you do this calculation, then you should get a final amount of 2,560, and we can see that it was an overall decrease because, you know, these are pretty large amounts and that decreased. Okay, and if you add all three together, you should get an amount here. Let me quickly calculate it. I don't really have it yet. This is what I get, 2,560. I get 105,760. Okay, I hope you all know how I got that. I said this plus this plus this. Okay, then finally, to calculate our cash generated from operations, we're gonna take this one and subtract this amount from it, okay? And then I should get 458,020. That's what I get. I don't know if this is right because I just did it right now. So if you have any questions or any discrepancies, please let me know and we can go ahead and look at those. And I want to remind you that this is for 14 marks. It's very important that you write increase here and decrease here. So always indicate whether it's an increase or decrease, and always show all your calculations, right? But let me know if you're okay, and I guess that's it.